over even warmer waters. I'm going to show you the satellite, basically right now, where it is. The water temperature right now at 29 to 30 degrees Celsius. But once it enters the Bahamas, there is some 31s, even some 32 degrees Celsius water temperatures, which is very concerning. I'm looking right now, and the water temperatures here are exceeding 31 degrees, especially over here. So once this hurricane is going to go here, it's going to blow up. I mean, it's going to bomb out. Well, or it's going to get even stronger than it is right now. It's already bombed out. So basically what will happen with Irma is it might go under 900 millibars. This is where it will basically go under 900. This is where you might have a storm that will rival that of Hurricane Wilma. Because Wilma happened in about similar conditions. Wilma went down to an 882. Water temperature there were actually 29 to 30 degrees. But here it's 30 to 31. Which means you might have an even stronger storm than Wilma. You might have a Category 5 with 880 millibar wind, air pressure and 200 mile an hour winds. I would not be surprised if that happens. Because new hurricane data information just came in. And let me check it out. Yep. Air pressure is about the same. Winds, though, are in this run are about close to 8 to 160 mile knots. That's knots. I mean, this is almost 160 now winds. And that's knots, not miles an hour. Pressure's about the same. They went into a different. They did not go through the most powerful part of the eye. Actually, in this case, they actually went not through the left, right for a quadrant. Actually, they actually went through the other part of the eye. They actually came in northwest to southeast. But if they came in like this, or north, or northeast or southwest, that's when you probably have the strongest winds. In the last pass, they actually went north to south. Well, actually, no. In the last pass, they actually went south to north. And they passed right through the left, right for quadrant where they had the strongest winds and the lowest pressure too. Well, the strongest winds. That's where they had to jump to 160 knots or 185 miles an hour. So my prediction is that it will definitely go under 900 knots. Yeah, no doubt. This storm will go under 900 millibars, and I believe this will become one of the great hurricanes that goes under 900 millibars. And I predict now that there's new sampling of the upper air currents going on with the balloons, new model data is coming in that is showing that the trough might actually be a little more stronger than expected, and this could actually tug the storm further north. Now the models are starting to trend further east. Let me show you what I'm talking about. The European model occurred earlier today during the afternoon, but some of the newer runs are definitely having it go up. See, now they were over here. Now they're shifting further east. And I believe this trend will continue, and it might end up going up the east coast like this. And that could be very problematic. If it does something like this and goes right at the warmest part of the Bahamas and then goes up the east coast like this, you could have a Category 2, Category 3 hurricane that could impact the northeast. And that's the concern right now. Whether it impacts the northeast or goes into the southeast, it's going to be a really bad problem. I mean, a disaster. But it will be better if it goes actually to the northeast to New York, because by the time it gets here, it will be a much weaker hurricane, maybe like Irene, basically. Because Irene was like a Category 4 over here, and by the time he made it here, it was basically just a former shell of its former self. And that might be the best case scenario, because if it goes into Florida, man, this is going to be Category 5. It's going to have 190, 200 mile an hour winds, air pressure on 885 millibars. It will be much, much worse than Andrew, because Andrew was a borderline 5. This thing is a strong Category 5. So if this thing goes over Homestead again, Homestead will be wiped off the map, basically. Wiped off the map. From the winds, yeah. Any homes that are like single floor homes, mobile homes, are going to be destroyed. I mean, since this is a compact storm, I'm not going to be too worried about storm surge, but wind damage is going to be extreme. even inland, 10, even 40, 50 miles inland, homes are not very well built. Even well-built homes will suffer extreme damage. Maybe, I mean, these winds are basically EF4 winds. 185 mile an hour winds is basically EF4. Imagine F4 tornado hitting your house, basically. That's the kind of damage you'll have if you're right in an eye wall. And expect these winds, even 40, 50 miles inland. Even if you're in the Everglades, you'll have extreme winds. Even if you're over Lake Okeechobee and have a Category 5 that makes landfall, you might have Category 4 winds, which is basically F3 to F4, or EF3 to EF4 winds. Please evacuate. And if this storm goes up here, if it does this track, you're going to have a Category 4, maybe a Category 5 make landfall in the Carolinas, because you have 80 plus water temperatures all the way up to the Outer Banks. And 80 plus water temperatures go almost up to the Delmarva. This is where basically it ends because of that remnant storm we had. The potential tropical cyclone 10 kind of churned up the waters a little bit, which is a good thing. And if it goes up, if it does this, you're going to have a Cat 4, maybe a 5 make landfall near Wilmington, North Carolina. And if it takes a track like Floyd, you might have a Category 1 that comes into New York City. Because Floyd made landfall as a strong Cat 2. Imagine a Cat 5 making landfall here and taking the same track. It's going to be a whole different animal. You might take a track like Floyd, but have a Cat 1, even a Cat 2 impacting the Northeast. That's a major concern. Well, I have to go. Thank you for watching. And my prediction is in terms of air pressure, it will go down to the 890s as of now. I think it will drop down to 890 at the lowest. That's my prediction, and I believe it will do that tomorrow night. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.